Hi there, and welcome back to another video I'm making about what I use for caravanning, what I call my essentials, the handy things, and some top tips for those who want to get into caravanning or using a motorhome. Now, this is just what I use. Obviously, I'm no expert by any means necessary, so I'm going to dive straight into it. So what I call the essential equipment, obviously a lot of it you may have already, or if you're buying a caravan, your caravan dealer will have told you already about this. One of them is your Aqua Roll and your Waste Master for your fresh and waste water. Another thing is one of these, which you use for your caravan legs. Again, if you're anything like me, which don't like all this winding business and messing about with that, I don't like that. I have one of these, a cordless drill with the attachment on the end, which makes life a hell of a lot easier. So the other thing that obviously you're going to require is a gas bottle. There are many different types of gas bottles out there. There is obviously the obvious one, which is Gas, which I found quite on the expensive side, if I'm perfectly honest. So it's not something that I use. I originally started using Flow Gas. The local Brandon Tool Hire or Hire Centre, I think it's called now, did a 11 kilo bottle for £19.95 exchange, which not a bad price at all. And just recently I've moved to a refillable option, and that is called a safe fill. So a safe fill gas bottle is you can get them in, I think it's 3, 6 or 10 kilos. Again, don't hold me to that. I bought the 10 kilo bottle, and it gets 19 litres, if I remember rightly, of gas or LPG, which you go to a petrol station forecourt and just fill them up. I filled it up for the first time when I used it. It come to about £17, which is actually a fairly quite a reasonably good price. The other things that you're going to potentially need, if you're anything like me, when I first started caravanning, I did not have an electric ignition hob, so which I had to use one of these. Some of you probably know what these are, you know, here. There you go. Because when I first used my caravan, a bit of a funny story for you. I pulled up to where I was going, into Model Car Club, sets my caravan up, gets everything on, gets me a generator running, because I use a generator more than electric hookups. And I said, okay, we've set up, we've got the TV on, so let's have something to eat. How do I like the hob? So I had to go to my friend here, actually quite kindly gave me one of these. So even so, my new caravan now, which is a Bailey's Pageant Series 7, so not a new caravan, this has electric ignition, but I'll still keep it just in case that stops working. The other things that I didn't think of when I first started caravanning was I didn't have any sponges or washing up liquid. So again, I've had something to eat, okay, now let's wash up. Where's my sponge? Where's my washing up liquid? It's just simple things like that that you don't remember. You know, it's a strange one. The other thing that you might be, I say, is worth getting, and that is some levelling ramps. Here's mine. You know, this is the cheaper option of what's out there. Some of them come with chocks to chock them up and that sort of thing. I just bought the cheap and cheerful ones. Again, they do work perfectly well for me. The other thing, which I've got sat beside of me here, is a really good set of towing mirrors. Obviously, if you're towing a caravan, not if you're having a motorhome, for obvious reasons. Now, these are the ones made by Malenko, and they're what I call the long arms or the long reach. So this attaches to your wing mirror here, and then it's quite, as you can see, it's quite a substantial size. Now, the reason why I bought these ones, because I actually, believe it or not, I tow with a Mini Clubman. And with these, when I've got these on the car, I can actually see the back of the caravan with these on. So always get a good, strong, high quality set of towing mirrors. They'll be a hell of a lot of help in the long run. Yes, you may have to pay a bit more for them, but again, it is well worth it. The other thing that people may not think of, again, is your mains hookup cable. Personally, I don't recommend anything less than 10 meters. Granted, I don't use main caravan sites often because I race model cars, hence I've got my BRCA fleece on here. So we're actually normally caravanning in the middle of a farmer's field, so there is no mains hookup. So a 10 metre one is perfectly fine for me. However, when I do go to caravan sites, I found 10 metres is sort of on the limit of what you can get away with, because some electric boxes are on the opposite side of the caravan or the back of the caravan. So I would say 10 metres is the absolute minimum you could potentially get away with. Now let's talk about your security items. Obviously my caravan currently is sat on the drive, my car is parked next to it, which is behind me. So what I have a Alco hitch lock. I also have a wheel clamp, so I've got both. There are other things that you can do as well. You can obviously put a clamp on each wheel. You can also get one of those posts that you can raise up out of the ground, something else to help security. Now some of the handy things that I didn't think you need until your friend were using one. One of them is a bright torch. Yeah, very bright torch. Now, so if you're setting up in the evening, or you go away with your pets, you're going for a dog walk, a torch. I think I paid 12 quid on that from Amazon with battery charger and everything. So I put a link for that in the description below. Dead simple. Again, if you're anything like me, I am a bit obsessed with Alton Towers. When I say a bit, I mean just a skosh. And I always make an effort of going to the fireworks every year, which is normally the first or second weekend of November. And sometimes it can be a bit cold, obviously because it's November. So one thing that I do have is one of these, which is an aquarium water heater. Some of you looking at the screen now going, what the bloody hell do you need a water heater for? Quite simply, this submerges in the Aqua Roll. So you plug it in if you want to hook up, and that will prevent your Aqua Roll from freezing. Makes life a little bit easier. The only drawback of that is you've got to make sure you keep water in the Aqua Roll so that is always submerged. If not, the glass does get hot, and when you pour water back onto it, it will shatter. So that's just something to bear in mind. The one thing that I used when I used my caravan on a service pitch for the first time, I went out and bought one, and it made life so much easier, and that is an Aqua Roll mains adapter. It is basically a float valve like you have in your toilet system, which goes in the side hole of your Aqua Roll. So when the water level drops, the float goes down and it fills back up again. Plug it in, turn the tap on and leave it. There are other devices out there where you can have a hose directly from the tap into the caravan. I know a few caravan retailers, and myself personally, I don't recommend those or don't like the idea of them, because you're putting a lot of back pressure on the pump. Again, if your caravan is like mine, where the pump is actually inside the caravan rather than in the Aqua Roll itself. Again, I know a few people who've had them, and it's actually worn and blown the seals, and you have a very wet caravan floor. So it's not something that I would go for personally, but again, that's completely personal choice. Now, one of my biggest top tips is, if you are storing your caravan at home, which I do, and you don't know what you're going to need, what you don't need, one thing which I wish I'd have done, stopping it on a Friday night, all day Saturday night and all day Sunday, and physically live in the caravan, even though it's put on your drive, and use everything in the caravan that you would normally use. So you cook, you clean, because then very quickly you will find what you are missing. A prime example, when I first set up my caravan, I made a nice spag bowl. Again, I didn't have a hob lighter, which I've already mentioned, didn't have any washing up liquid, but what I didn't have, which again I did not think of whatsoever, and that is just something to strain the pasta. You know, just things that you generally just don't think of. And of course the other thing that you can't really go without, and that is a very good, decent Caravan Step. I have a 2-step step that is made by, I think it's Royal over here somewhere. It is, yeah, it's a Royal one. Again, I think I paid £25 for that one. It wasn't massively expensive. They do have another one which has little LED lights in the front, so it does illuminate the steps, which is quite nice. But I think that worked out at £55, something like that. So it's not something that I would have personally. But again, I have no need for it. I had to buy a new Caravan Step after my old one fell out with my car, because I actually backed over it. Don't ask me how I did that, I've got no idea. So I had to buy another one. I'm actually quite happy with the one that I brought, it's really good. The other thing that you need to do if you haven't got one already, and that is get a very good high quality leisure battery. Yeah, some of the cheaper brands are fine. I have an Excite or an XL Excite, something like that, 115 amp hour, really decent battery. Been going for 3.5 years now. Any sound piece of advice, good battery is a must. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like and subscribe if you don't already. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all again next time.